Let's talk about my lovely state of Ohio. Also known as the mother of presidents, the Buckeye State, or the birthplace of aviation, Ohio has a long and storied political history. 7 U.S. presidents were born in Ohio. But behind that legacy, Ohio's political landscape is now shaped by power tactics that undermine democracy. The Ohio Republican Party has held on to power through gerrymandering, voter suppression, and a series of corrupt practices. Let's break it down. First, a little history lesson. Ohio became the 17th state on February 19th of 1803, although our statehood is actually celebrated on March 1st. This date marks when the Ohio legislature met for the first time, a date retroactively recognized by a 1953 U.S. congressional resolution. Ohio has long been a political battleground, and it's a state where presidential elections are often decided. But over the last few years, it's become a Republican stronghold. The GOP here has tightened its grip on power using a combination of strategic manipulation and ethical shortcuts, gerrymandering and voter suppression. Ohio is one of the clearest examples of gerrymandering. Republicans here have consistently drawn district lines to favor their party, securing supermajorities in the state legislature. They've also employed voter suppression tactics, making it harder for certain groups, especially minorities, to vote. More recently, the GOP has tried to raise the threshold for passing state constitutional amendments, aiming to make it harder for voters to change the state constitution on issues like abortion rights. Voters managed to outmaneuver them, at least for now. Despite all this foul play, Ohioans have shown that they're not easily silenced. Speaking of corruption, let's talk about Jim Jordan. You'll hear his name come up time and time again when it comes to the corruption that goes on in Ohio. He's been in Congress for years, but his political career is littered with scandals. Most recently, he tried using a fake whistleblower to lower the bar for impeaching Joe Biden, an obvious political stunt with no real evidence. But it's deeper than that. When he was a gym teacher at Ohio State, he was accused of turning a blind eye to sexual abuse by a team doctor. Despite this, he continued to climb the political ladder, supported by the same corrupt machine that's kept Ohio Republicans in power. He's a prime example of how the system can protect the corrupt, allowing them to stay in power by sidestepping accountability. Then there's Bernie Moreno, a businessman turned politician whose connections to the corrupt underbelly of Ohio politics makes you question whether he's in it for the people or himself. Can't ignore Governor DeWine. His leadership is controversial, especially when you consider that his son, Pat DeWine, serves on the state Supreme Court. A once booming industrial state has seen its cities decline. Jobs left, poverty has risen, and the infrastructure is crumbling. And today, we're still known for our rich history. It's also a state where corruption has taken root in our political system, from gerrymandering to voter suppression to ethical violations and cronyism. The road to change starts with recognizing the problem,